Honorable Speaker, I just need a clarification from you, Chair, whether it's possible to extend by 1 hour, because we might not finish within the 30 minutes. Is it possible? Because the questions might not find time. Speaker has discretion and
standing orders, I have that power.
oh, thank you.
If you read Standing Order 38,
Yes,
I have that power.
thank you.
But I can only exercise that power if the time that we have,
Yes,
I see it being utilized for the purpose that has brought us here.
most obliged. Thank you, Speaker.
That is proven to me. I will have no problem.
Thank you.
I will never extend even a minute for us to argue or to fight. I will extend, even if it's 1 hour, 2 hours, for us to dig deep in this matter. Not
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Side shows, I will not give them even a minute. Proceed, Ipoa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and this honorable house. As I said, my name is Anne Wanjiku. I'm standing in for my chair, who is away on official duty. So I also wish to relay our condolence as the authority, the family of Mr. Ojwang. It was very unfortunate to lose such a young man, a professional with a very young family. Honorable Speaker, we have been mandated as IPOA to oversight police on issues of crime, criminal offenses, and the recent judgment by Mugambi J emphasized that IPOA has the sole mandate to investigate police on criminal matters. On regard to this case, Mr. Speaker, I'll give a brief of the facts that we have. From start, the DCI received a complaint from the DIG, Kenya Police, Mr. Eliud Lagat, through a letter referenced DIG KPS SCC POL Volume 2, 72 dated 4th June, where he alleged that he suffered continuous false and malicious publications on X account, formerly Twitter, with the username Pixel Pioneer, and requested investigations with a view to establish the person and motive behind it. On the same day, on 4th June 2025, the complainant was referred to Serious Crime Unit based at DCI headquarters for investigations. Through forensic analysis, they were able to identify the link used by the blogger and the person linked to the account as one Kelvin Moinde. On 5th June 2025, Kevin Moinde was arrested by DCI officers from the Serious Crime Unit at Gituki area, Bomachage, Borabu, and later escorted to Nairobi. He was placed in custody at Kamkunji Police Station, Nairobi. On interrogating the suspect, the officers established that one Albert Omondi Ojwang, herein referred to as the deceased, a resident of Leader Center within Homa Bay County, was a person of interest and therefore planned to arrest him. On 7th of June 2025 at around 8 a.m., team comprising of Sergeant Sigei, Sergeant Wesley Kipkorir Kirui, PC Dennis Kenyoni, PC Milton Mwanze, and PC Boniface Rabudo went to Leader Center in Homa Bay County and arrested the deceased at around 2:30 p.m. and took him to Mawego Police Station, and they later in custody via OB 10-7/6 of 2025. At around 3:54 p.m., the deceased was booked out via OB number 11/7/6 of 2025 and escorted to Nairobi, where he was booked at Central Police Station via OB number 136/7/6 of 2025 at 9:31 p.m. On 8th June 2025, according to the police signal, the deceased was rushed to Bagabi Hospital by police officers from Central Police Station, where he was declared dead and later taken to City Funeral Home. The authority learned of the death of Albert Ojwang in police custody on 8th June from the media as well as through the police signal sent to the authority by the IG and immediately commenced investigation. We have achieved the following tasks, Honorable Speaker. The scene was visited and documented for the purpose of preserving the integrity of the evidence, to establish the sequence of events, and identify any indicators of misconduct. Number two, blood samples were collected from the scene and blood spatter analysis was also done by our investigating officers. Three, all relevant police documents were collected from Central Police Station. The CCTV DVR was seized and forwarded for forensic analysis. Statements from all the 5 DCI arresting officers were recorded. A letter addressed to Bagabi Hospital requesting information on whether the deceased was treated at the facility was delivered. A reply is expected by 11th of June, that is today. The family of the deceased was contacted. Potential witnesses were also identified. The occurrence book records were obtained from Mawego Police Station. The post-mortem examination was attended and a copy of the report was obtained. The samples drawn from the deceased body were secured and are pending onward transmission to the government chemist. The statement of one detainee held at Central Police Station was also recorded. The following are the pending tasks, Mr. Speaker: to forward the collected samples from crime scene for analysis, to forward samples collected from the deceased body for analysis, to record a statement of other potential witnesses and family members, to record the statement of the officers from Central Police Station today, and the statements were to start, the recording was to start at 9 a.m. at our offices at the headquarters, collect medical documents from Bagabi Hospital, that is the feedback, and analyze evidence and also to generate a report on the same. The key findings: one, that the CCTV systems located at OCS office had been interfered with. Number two, that the post-mortem conducted on 10th June 2025 revealed the cause of death as head injury due to blunt force trauma, neck compression, and multiple subcutaneous bruises all over the body. This, Honorable Speaker, the autopsy report and our preliminary investigation rule out the theory of suicide. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The National Police Service. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This is the National Police Service Commission. As you are aware, Mr. Speaker, we don't have full commission right now, and I'm standing in as the Vice Chair, awaiting the appointment of the rest of the commissioners to join the commission. Speaker, I don't think at this moment I'll have much to say, but first to pass condolences to the family and the entire country for the unfortunate event. Oh, sorry. My name is Edwin Kiprono Cheluget, and as I've said, Speaker, we are waiting the rest of the commissioners to join us. Mr. Speaker, I only come in on 2 issues, disciplinary control in the National Police Service. And the issue of disciplinary control includes actions against police officers who have been convicted of disciplinary offenses, which include such circumstances as has happened today. If the investigations lead to culpability of any officer, it is the responsibility of the National Police Service Commission to take the necessary steps and meet the necessary sentence to that culpable officer. And as you have said, The IG has already confirmed that he has interdicted 4 officers already, which is within his mandate as the Inspector General. When the investigations are over, we will be able to receive that report and whether it will result, depending on the participation of each of the affected officers, meet the necessary sentence or meet the necessary punishment in terms of whether it is reprimand, whether it is a warning, whether it's reduction in rank, or whether it is a dismissal. So as for us, we are waiting for the finalization of the investigations by IPOA and the support of the Inspector General and any other body that may give us information on culpability of any police officer. So at this moment, Mr. Speaker, we are waiting and we hope the entire process will be open and transparent. Once we have all the facts, we will know which sentence to meet which officer and which officer is supposed to get what kind of sentence. I submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. The DCI.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is to join my colleagues first in really expressing my sincere condolence to the family, the relatives and friends of the deceased, the late Albert Kajwang. It was indeed a very, very unfortunate incident. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, mine is to associate.
State your full names and then you proceed.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Mr. Mohammed Amin, the Director of Criminal Investigations. And I would like at this juncture, Honorable Speaker, to associate myself fully with the submissions made by the Inspector General before this August House. And again, reiterate the fact that as a directorate, we are of said authority in terms of the investigations in whatever way we are requested. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, Honorable Senators, those are the parties that we had invited for purposes of interacting with them on this matter of the death of the young man. I will now, this is how we're going to move, Honorable Senators. If you take to the floor, you will state to which party you're directing your question to. And that party will write down your name and the question. After we are done, I will call upon the CS, pick whatever has been directed towards him and respond to it. And thereafter, we will move to the rest of the parties. Eddie Okech.
Mr. Speaker, my questions are two. And actually, Mr. Speaker, if you read my first question in this statement, it was very clear. And I'll repeat it for the purpose of the IG. Now that the CS has said that he has no eyes and he has no ears. The question was the circumstances that led to the death of Mr. Albert Omondio Juang, including a detailed account of events surrounding his fatal injury. The DIG has stated that around 23:35, Albert was booked at the Central Police Station. And he has stated that Albert was booked after an assessment had been done that he was in good condition, he was in good mental condition, as well as physical condition. The question I'm asking the the IG, who did Albert to the conditions that he was found the next day in the morning when he was taken to the hospital. What happened at that night is what we want to know. And alongside that, Mr. Speaker, the IG is on record having stated in the media that Albert hit his head on the wall. Who gave him that information? And does he still stand by that information given what IPOA said of the autopsy report? That is what I want to know. What happened in that night? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Methu. Senator Methu, no speeches.
Thank you very much. I'll be very, very direct to the point, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, having listened to the man who, in my opinion, now carries or rather the man who was supposed to give us the evidence of the chronology of what happened, I am of this opinion, Honorable Speaker. We were told that the complainant is the Deputy Inspector General of Police. I'm of this opinion, Honorable Speaker, that from what the Inspector General of Police has said, it is my opinion that the evidence he has put together is the corrected evidence. And I'll give two examples of why I am of the opinion that the Inspector General wants to just cover his deputy. He says that, Mr. Speaker, he says that the complainant lodged a complaint on the 4th of June. There are 4 officers that he has said who were supposed to go, or rather, who were to take the statement from the Inspector General of Police. May I take you to the 5th of June when he has said 2 letters were made. One, they first received the response from the EACC on the 5th of June. They wrote another letter to the CAK on the 5th of June. On the same day, they received a letter from the CAK. Once they were satisfied that there is a case to answer, the officers went to arrest Albert. Now, Mr. Speaker, the officers arrived in Kisii at 12:55. Walking back, it is 307 kilometers from Nairobi to Kisii. If indeed they left Nairobi after they were satisfied, unless these letters were being done before government opens offices, I know that government opens offices at 8 in the morning. If they did a letter, for example, to the CAK at 8, and they got a response at maybe 8:15, if the government is so swift, then it means that they drove to Kisii in less than 3 hours. This, Mr. Speaker, cannot have happened unless there is further evidence that of how. No, we have been told that they didn't fly. We have been told that
Senator, don't engage your colleagues, just proceed.
Oh yeah, they drove all the way to Kisii. And they go to Kisii from what the Inspector General of Police has told us at 12:55 hours. Honorable Speaker, that already raises eyebrows that this evidence has been deconstructed. This is not original evidence. This is not a true record of what happened to Kajwang. And I am very sad that the Inspector General of Police, in my opinion, I'm giving my opinion, apparent who is here.
Just ask your question.
Yeah, so that is my question. My second question. And Honorable Speaker, I don't know why corrects
Just one, let me just direct you. I will not take any points of order. We have just suspended the sitting. We are here not strictly enforcing the standing order. Allow the honorable senators, you made a basis for your question, proceed to ask the question.
You know, Mr. Speaker, we are here because we want to know what happened to Albert Kajwang. If any information can help us know what happened to Albert Kajwang, then it will help us move. Maybe finally, may I know from the Inspector General of Police, once it was established in the morning that Albert was unconscious and he was being rushed to hospital, the choice of Bagati Hospital instead of Kenyatta National Hospital, just a question to, maybe to help in the investigation, because I've seen from Central Police Station to Kenyatta National Hospital via Hospital Road is 5.1 kilometers. To Bagati is 5.8 kilometers via Valley Road. Mr. Speaker, I would have imagined that there are better facilities and there are better facilities at Kenyatta National Hospital, and being a hospital that is nearer the central police station, Honorable Speaker, I would have expected that is where advert would have been taken. Thank you.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've listened to the IG very keenly, but I would like to know what brief, the specific brief that led to the suspension of the officers at Central Police Station.
Senator Bone.
Mr. Speaker, my first one is to CS Murkomen. Mr. Speaker, patriots in this country fought against detention without trial. And CS Murkomen, I assure you, they are going to fight against extrajudicial killings, especially within police custody. The question is this, CS. The Deputy Inspector of Police, Mr. Eliud Lagat, went against the provisions of Chapter 6 of the Constitution, went against the provisions of the National Police Act, specifically Section 17, and in general, the Leadership and Integrity Act. You, as a member of the National National Security Council, where you sit together with the IG, both of you are present here. Why have you found it difficult to advise the necessary authorities that Eliud Lagat be dismissed from service? My next question, Mr. Speaker, is to CS, not CS, to the IG Kanja. IG Kanja, Kenyans who know you, we have a lot of respect for you, because you are the officer, unknown to some people, who defeated the terrorists at Dusit 2 Hotel. We know you as a serious police officer. We've been wondering why these killings under you. And now that Lagat is the person we have found to be who he is, we can now very well see who has been undermining you. I therefore want to appeal to you. Tell this country, a spokesman by the name of Mushiri Nyaga, the police spokesman, he misrepresented material facts. He attempted to conceal this killing. He went and interfered with the circumstances of the crime by stating that Omondi Kajwang hit his head on the wall. IG Kanja, why have you not arrested him? He has information which in his statement under arrest will help to point fingers at who gave him this deliberate statement so as to do what I have said above. Finally, Mr. Speaker, back to Kanja and or Amin. IPOA has now told us the names of the officers from DCI who went to Migori to go and arrest Kajwang. Can you tell the country how it came to pass that Kajwang was moved all the way, Ojwang, that Kajwang was moved all the way, hundreds of kilometers, contrary to the provisions of normal procedure that would have required that it be taken to the nearest police station, in the jurisdiction where he committed, quote unquote, the said crime, and that if he needed to be moved, a magistrate needed to give permission for him to be moved all the way to Nairobi. Could you, IG, tell us why you have found it difficult to arrest these officers? And their names are a little bit disturbing. You tell us why you have not arrested them? Because they're the only ones who were with this young man from the last time the parents saw him well and alive up to the time they came to Nairobi for the country to be told that the young man was dead. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to CS Murkomen. CS Murkomen, the National Security Council, where you sit, is charged with promoting and guaranteeing security of the country. And you have the audacity to come and face the Parliament of Kenya and tell Kenyans that you don't see, you don't know. CS Murkomen, please, for the respect of this young man, you are yet to grow a child up to the age of 31. Can you immediately resign? You are not fit to be in that docket. Please, I beg you, it is not personal. And if you think I'm joking, you are a well-read man. You know that in 2011, in Tunisia, a street hawker by the name of Mohamed Bouazi was killed. And people came into the streets and the government of President Ben Ali was overthrown. You truly don't know what you're playing with. Please resign. You cannot be an inspiration to be in cabinet. Senator Mazayo.
Asante Mstahiki Spika. Swala langu la kwanza na kwenda kwa Inspector Generali. Inspector Generali, nataka atueleze wazi kabisa ni kwa sababu gani kulikuwa kuna lazima ya kwamba huyu mtu aliyeshikwa kule Homa Bay, huyu Kajwang, huyu Ojwang, sorry my brother Kajwang, huyu Ojwang aliyeshikwa kule kwa Homa Bay kuchukua safari ya masaa mengi kama hayo mpaka Nairobi, kulikuwa na sababu gani hapo katikati ya kwamba ni lazima aje Nairobi? Swala la kwanza. La pili, nataka kujua ni kwa sababu gani alipokuwa amefika Nairobi kulikuwa na wale mapolisi waliotangulia kuingia ndani ya sel na kuharibu zile CCTV ziko pale ndani, ili chochote kitakachofanyika pale ndani, atakayeingia na atakayetoka hataweza kuonekana katika ile kamera. Ni nani waliofanya kitendo kama hicho ambacho kiliweza kupoteza ile CCTV isiweze kuona ni nani aliyeingia ndani ya ile cell ambayo Ojwang alikuwa hapo? Na hatimaye mwisho, ile CCTV ambayo ingetusaidia wale watu waliingia pale ndani, wewe mwenyewe ukiwa kipaumbele ukisema ya kwamba pengine huyu alijigonga mwenyewe akafa. Nataka kukuambia ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba hakuna binadamu ambaye yuko ndani ya cell anaweza kujigonga mwenyewe mpaka akajiua unless alikuwa na akili punguani. Kwa hiyo nataka kujua wale walioingia, wale mapolisi walioingia pale ndani na wakamuua Ojwang ni kina nani? Tunataka kujua. Asante Bwana Spika.
The Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I have followed the presentation from IPOA, who are the constitutionally charged body with investigating such incidents. However, I found their answer to be a bit too vague, Mr. Speaker, because of no specific reference to certain critical things that the country wished to know at this particular time. It will help this country, Mr. Speaker, to appreciate if in the course of their investigation, they have been able to establish, because you've seen the list of the interdicted officers, the OCS, the officers who are on duty, Mr. Speaker, and now this morning, IPOA has just listed the names of the officers who went all the way to Homa Bay to pick Mr. Albert Ojwang. Mr. Speaker, from IPOA's records and the investigation, wouldn't it have been beneficial if the representative, the vice chair from IPOA, would have let this House and the country know whether, in accordance to the investigation, by the time Albert Ojwang arrived at Central Police Station, what was his state, Mr. Speaker? Second, and most importantly, where are these officers, both the OCSs, Mr. Speaker, not both actually, the DCI officers that picked him and the officers who interacted with Albert Ojwang in the course? Have they recorded their statements, Mr. Speaker? And by when do we expect that we will see, Mr. Speaker, the conclusion of this investigation, the closure of the spine, forwarding to DPP for people to be charged, Mr. Speaker? If I could get those three specific items, Mr. Speaker, then I will appreciate and know that for sure something is being done to give justice to the family of this deceased young man. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, for the record, the name Ojwang in Luo means abandoned, neglected, and raised in hardship. And clearly, you can see it has come to be true in the case of Albert that we are talking about today. Mr. Speaker, can the Inspector General of Police withdraw and apologize in this House for the assertions that he made through the formal communication by the National Police Service that Ojwang killed himself? Mr. Speaker, in my culture, suicide brings stigma, and the IG of police has brought untold suffering, stigma, to the family of Ojwang by purporting that this gentleman killed himself when the autopsy clearly reveals that he was killed in the hands of police. Can you direct the IG to apologize and withdraw on the floor of this House on the strength of the autopsy report? Mr. Speaker, secondly, there are many good officers in the National Police Service. We must agree. All the members of Senate here have one or two police officers assigned to them. And I think generally they are people of good conduct. But there are few bad apples, Mr. Speaker, that need to be fumigated. And that is where the National Police Service comes in, and the CS for Interior. Has a CS done any policy directives in writing pursuant to Article 245 to deal with those bad elements? Mr. Speaker, further, if you pursue the proximate cause theory, it was a complaint by DIG Lagat that led to the arrest of this young man in Lida, in Mawego, and that led to his death. Mr. Speaker, why is DIG Lagat still in office when it is his complaint that triggered the chain of actions and reactions that led to the death of this young man? Can the Inspector General tell us why? Can the CS tell us why? Because you cannot be in office still having authority and power, and you are the person who is being investigated. Mr. Speaker, I said there are many good police officers. The stepping aside of DIG Lagat is not going to lead to the collapse of the police force. And Mr. Speaker, what Kenyans want to see, is DIG Lagat not just taking a side, but he should also go to a police station and record a statement and have his fingerprints taken? Because there is no way you are going to carry out an investigation without addressing the proximate cause of the chain of events that led to the death of this young man. Mr. Speaker, we have been told that there are other suspects that were mentioned. There was Kevin, who was taken to Kenyanya and ultimately, I think, ended up in Kamukunji. What is the status? Are they still alive? Kevin, Dorcas, Peter, Douglas, Albert is dead. What about the other 4 that were adversely mentioned? Can the IG assure this House? And in fact, Mr. Speaker, we might need to issue habeas corpus so that they can be produced and we confirm that they're alive. Because one of the co-accused is right now lying at the city mortuary. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the CS has pointed us to Article 245. And Mr. Speaker, the CS is an illustrious former member of this House. I have a lot of personal respect for him. We are friends, we are intimates, and I believe we operate on the same intellectual bandwidth. I fail to recognize when he becomes the cabinet secretary, Mr. Speaker. Because the things he's doing while in this House continue to happen unabated under his watch. He was very articulate and eloquent when talking about the killings in Elgeyo Marakwet, in Baringo. They are still happening today. He was very articulate one time when the police came to the presence of Parliament, Mr. Speaker. He moved this House to suspend its sittings and the Speaker ordered the police to exit the presence of Parliament. That is a gentleman who's today the Cabinet Secretary. When our colleagues, Senator Malala, Senator Lelekwe, Senator Lagat, were arrested on the eve of an important debate, the then Senator Murkomen was passionate, articulate, eloquent, citing the relevant provisions of the Constitution, and moved this House to adjourn until the rights of our senators were observed. Could the CS tell us? I know he might not tell us what happens when you become a cabinet secretary, because obviously there seems to be a metamorphosis from positive to negative. But can he tell us whether he has issued any directions in writing, as he had referred to Article 245? And he tables them before this House and before the relevant committee, whether he has given policy guidelines, prudential advice on extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearance, violation of rights of protesters, violations of rights of citizens, the emergence of vigilantes and non-state actors who are abducting people in this country. That is part of his responsibility. Can he confirm that he has lived to that responsibility? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mungatana. Asante sana Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, kifungu cha 239 cha katiba ya Kenya inasema vitengo vya usalama ni vitatu: Kenya Defence Forces ama jeshi, National Intelligence ama majasusi, na polisi. Na inasema mamlaka hizi tatu katika hicho kifungu ziko chini ya wananchi, yani under civilian authority. Sasa mimi nataka kuuliza, wale walimkamata Albert Ojwang, wale walimweka Albert Ojwang katika seli, ni mafunzo gani walipata ya kwamba ukiwa ndani ya seli unaweza kufanya chochote kwa yule mtu ambaye wewe mamlaka yako iko chini yake? Nataka kuuliza Inspector General, nataka kuuliza waziri anayehusika, kama katika training yao hawa polisi, are they taught kuhusu constitution, kuhusu being under civilian authority? Wanafundishwa hii? Ya pili, mawakili wote ambao washawahi kusimamia wateja wao ambao wanashtakiwa na kesi za jinai, ukienda kwa police station pale mbele, Bwana Spika, ukitaka kuona mteja wako yoyote ni lazima ujiandikishe kama wakili.
ni lazima useme ni nani unamuona. Sasa mimi nataka kujua siku ile Albert Ojwang alishikwa. Na kawaida ukiingia pale vitu vyako vyote vinatolewa, ID yako, kila kitu inawekwa mahali kando. Wewe unaingia kwa seli peke yako na nguo zako. Swali nataka kuuliza, polisi watuambie, Inspector General, walikuwa watu wangapi katika ile seli? Kwa sababu huyu mtu tumeambiwa amepigwa ama amekufa kwa sababu ya maumivu aliyopata. Sasa either alipigwa na wale wenzake ambao walikuwa wako hapo ndani, ama alipigwa na polisi ambao walipata nafasi ya kuingia. Kila mtu ambaye anaingia pale lazima ajiandikishe. Tunataka kujua IG wa polisi, ile kitabu ambayo ukitaka kuingia kwa seli unaandikishwa, kiko wapi? Na ni askari gani walipewa nafasi ya kuingia? Na ni watu wangapi walikuwa ndani ya seli ya Albert Ojwang? Haya maswali tunataka yajibiwe. Wakenya wanataka kujua ni nini iliendelea usiku huo ili asubuhi huyu kijana awe amefariki. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Senator Murkomen.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the people who have appeared before us this morning have sworn, I believe Mr. Amin swore through a Quran, and the others lifted a Bible. And when I had read a Quran sometimes, the Quran strongly condemns murder. And the Bible says, Murkomen, you are Christian. It says, thou shalt not kill. So this matter is painful. This is an extraordinary city. Mr. Speaker, the people who started the events that led to the murder of this young man, who is the only son of a fairly elderly parent, who are from the DCI. And when you speak from Homa Bay, I believe he was first taken to DCI. And Mr. Amin, I want to look at you, and you are a Muslim, and you have children. All of you have children. I also have children. Nobody will have any joy when you see somebody's son die.
Honorable Murkomen, the 2 hours have lapsed. I will therefore extend for a further 45 minutes.
Thank you. So, Mr. DCI, I believe that at the DCI offices, you have CCTV cameras. So if we need to connect the events before we end up at Central Police Station, Mr. Speaker, the life of Ojwang stopped. We can also stop everything we are doing to get to the bottom of this matter. If we adjourn, Mr. Speaker, can we get the CCTV cameras that will track the movement of this young man from the DCI headquarters all the way to Central Police Stations, if we sincerely want Kenyans to know the truth, so that we know whether this guy was taken to Central Police Station dead or alive. So, Mr. Speaker, we want this to be an extraordinary session. If we have to go to the bottom of the truth, can the DCI tell us this afternoon, since you have sworn by the Quran, that you can get us the CCTV cameras that will show us the state this late man was when he left DCI, assuming that the CCTV cameras at Central Police Station were tampered with. One. Number two, this is to IG now. This was an ordinary suspect, one IG, booked at Central Police Station. I want you to, and Murkomen, you are a lawyer, you are a colleague, and we know you have a wife and you have children. I also have children, Murkomen. So we are here pained for what the police have done. Murdering a Kenyan in a police cell. Somebody's only child. How heartless can you guys be in the police force? So we want to know why. Why was this young man, Kajwang, booked alone in a cell at Central Police Station? If this was not covered up. Finally, Mr. Speaker, this person from IPOA, you are a vice chair. The chairman of IPOA knows that we are investigating a matter where a Kenyan has been murdered in a police cell. A safe haven for any criminal. When you go to a police cell, lawyers will know it's a safe haven. Mr. Speaker, I want to know this afternoon, where is this chairman of IPOA? Mr. Speaker, where is the chairman of IPOA? When we have adjourned every business to address this matter, where has he, what is that so important business that he can travel out of the country instead of coming to the house to give us the answers that we are seeking? Finally, Mr. Speaker, this is to CS Murkomen. Because you are a colleague, we were with you here last session. You know chapter 14. As a total, no, Article 240 sub Article 3. It says, sub Article 3. It says the council shall exercise supervisory control. Supervisory is a verb. An action word. A to-do word. So it says the National Council shall supervise all the police units. So how can you come here, CS, this morning to tell us that the government of the Republic of Kenya has no eye, can say nothing? When the Constitution commands the police units to respect human rights, the rule of law, and fundamental freedoms. Fundamental freedoms demand that if I'm a suspect, arrest me, take me to a police station. If there is a crime I've committed, take me to a court of law. So I want to ask you, CS, this morning, do you want to tell us that the government of the day, led by the commander-in-chief, has got no supervisory powers over the police force in Kenya? Is that what you are telling the Senate of the Republic of Kenya this morning? Those are my questions.
Deputy Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I did want to join my colleagues in addressing this matter. And Mr. Speaker, the report that the DCI officers who brought Albert Kajwang to Nairobi, and the report that he was safe and his body was okay, was of good health. I want to ask IPOA, because they have agreed with that report. And also they have made a conclusion at the end of the day that Albert Kajwang did not commit suicide. They have already concluded that bit. So I want to ask IPOA, how truthful is the report that you have? Because maybe I saw from the media that there is a CCTV at the entrance of the Central Police Station. There is a CCTV also at the reception. All those CCTV cameras destroyed, that you have nothing completely to explain whether Albert Kajwang came when he was sound and safe. And maybe whether you are correlating the traveling from Omagh to Nairobi and to DCI the way my colleague has explained here. So, because if you're investigators, you know, you cannot give us half-baked information. Just tell us exactly what has been happening. And because you are vice chair, you know, the chairman could really be the person to pin down. But because you are the vice chair, there are some things maybe even you have not private.
what is happening. Where is the chairman? Where is he that he cannot attend this important session? That the Senate of the Republic of Kenya has stopped all business to handle this matter since yesterday, Mr. Speaker. We spent actually the whole afternoon yesterday, today morning, we are ready to stop doing business. I was to travel actually to my county. I have suspended everything that I was to do, either personal or official duties, so that we can handle this matter. Mr. Speaker, you can even decide we'll do it even in the afternoon. We are not in a hurry. We want to stop this thing once and for all. We want to help Kenyans. We want to help the government of Kenya to function. We can only help if we deal with the officers working for the government. Maybe the person at the helm might not be aware of what is happening, but we can only deal with issues affecting Kenyans if we handle officers of government to task. Let them explain. If the officer will say, I was given the authority to say this or to do this by another officer who is there than him, we want to go that level, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, my colleagues agree with me that we can suspend home business. Actually, the order number 9 was a report from liaison officer. Mr. Speaker, I'm not ready to move that order until we get clear information from this team which is here. We are not in a hurry. Let the Senate of Kenya, which I'm serving in this 13th Parliament, be known as the Senate which stopped extrajudicial killings. Mr. Speaker, 4 years ago we lost a very young man, not a sniper, Daniel Mudeini, sniper from Meru. Up to date, that guy has never been buried because we are waiting for investigations to be concluded. We lost another gentleman, Mwenda Mbijewe, in 2016. Up to date, we have no traces of Mwenda Mbijewe. Sniper is lying at the morgue in Maua Hospital. Still, we said we shall not bury him as Meru community until we get justice for Sniper and his family. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't think if I'm a senator representing a community and then we come and rush over issues here, then we are doing the wrong thing, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I can even resign as a senator for Meru if any business that we do here, we don't do it conclusively. I can tender my resignation. If at all we are doing things scabbling and then the officers will go, no conclusion. And Mr. Speaker, I'm really at pains because of those 2 guys from Meru. Now the case of Homa Bay, I mentioned again, Homa Bay is bleeding. They lost an MP the other day. They have lost another young soul. Mr. Speaker, we must get these things right, Mr. Speaker. And when we are consulting with my friend, a majority leader, he is also at the pains. He wants to see everything. Kila kitu ache tuchimbue kwa hii msakato saa hii, Bwana Speaker. Asante sana, Bwana Speaker.
Senator Wambua, Senator Mazai and Senator Majority Leader just Senator Wambua, you may proceed.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first
Just proceed, Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to register my displeasure. Mr. Speaker, with the absence of the IPOA chairman in these proceedings. And I will say this for the record, that IPOA is perhaps the weakest link when it comes to investigating crimes committed by police officers. You have failed this country. The absence of your chairman in a proceeding as important as this is just a testimony of how casually you do your work. To hear that the IPOA chairman is in Arusha undertaking whatever business he's undertaking when this matter is being transacted in the Senate is a shame. Now let me go to the questions that I want to ask. One, the AG. was a Central Police Station, the first police station for Albert to be booked upon arrival in Nairobi. Is that the place where he was first booked? Secondly, IG, did you tell us on record and under oath that the OCS Central Police Station confirmed that Albert was in good physical health at the time of being booked in the police cell? For us, if that question is answered, IG, then it will lead to a lot of other conclusions. Was this man okay when he was being booked in the police cell? But IG, who interfered with the CCTV cameras at the Central Police Station on the night in question? And you cannot tell us you don't know. Because if you don't, there's a big problem. Who exactly interfered with the CCTV cameras and for what reason? Number 4, to the CID boss. What is the fate of the arresting officers? Where are they? Where are your arresting officers? We have been told that the officers that just booked in a suspect at the Central Police Station have been suspended. You've been told they have recorded statements. What about the arresting officers? Where are they? You have given us their names. Are they still in service? Perhaps pursuing the next suspect. Where are they? And it is at that point, Mr. Speaker, that I must put it straight to the CID boss. That Kenyans have a big problem with officers from your unit. A big problem. In fact, I will say it on record in the Senate, that the operational tiff between your officers and regular police officers is a source of serious concern to the security of this country. You cannot tell us that officers who just received a suspect have been suspended from service, and that the officers who did the arrest and transported a suspect all the way from Mawego to Nairobi, we don't know where they are. To CS Murkomen, as I conclude. You are our colleague. So much so that we actually even have you in one of our social forums where we discuss our social issues as colleagues. My brother, when the country was faced with similar circumstances while you served with us here, you took a very firm position. I remember the day you seated there, really digging into the character of then Regional Commissioner Natembea, because you believed that he was doing certain things that were not right for Kenyans. To hear you today, Senator C.S. Murkomen, say that you have no eyes on matters security is a big betrayal to what we as leaders stand for. It's actually a shame. C.S. Murkomen, you can and you must do better. On this one, you can and you must do better. You must be the first person demanding answers before we even bring you here. You must be the first person even demanding that aids within the senior police officer's role. Now, Speaker, as I conclude my submission, this matter, and I have seen you have called our leaders. I don't know, maybe you consulted on the issue that I want to raise. The Speaker, this matter is so grave and so important that we cannot limit time for this. If it means that we spend the whole day today here dealing with this matter, so be it. So be it. A life has stopped inside a police station. For the first time, I'm not being confronted with admissions from police officers that a police station is a scene of crime. And that crime is murder. Mr. Speaker, this is a serious issue. If people are being killed in police stations, we cannot say that we are rushing to other things. And Senator Meru said, we have suspended a lot of things. I'm supposed to be attending a party PG, but I say, no, this is important. This is important. The Speaker, give senators, colleagues, a chance to just deal with this matter. And if need be, if we need CCTV camera to be played, to just get to the bottom of this matter, the Speaker, so be it. I submit.
Senator Veronica.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. And I want to thank the CS for coming in promptly to respond to issues that arise on your desk. Issues of serious urgency and serious emergency in our country. Honorable CS, I want to take you to Article 244 before I get into the questions, the specific questions of this matter. The Article 224 lays down the objects and the functions of the National Police Service. Honorable CS, I'm very concerned that, number one, under Article 244, Subarticle C and D, the National Police Service is supposed to comply with constitutional standards of human rights and fundamental freedoms of Constitution 2010, and D, to train staff to the highest possible standards of competence and integrity, and to respect human rights and fundamental freedoms and dignity. And I want to remember the police officers who served during our days in the university. Honorable CS, we used to attend the Christian Union in main campus. We would go back to Parklands at night. The people who would escort us in the night were police officers. Where are the police officers upholding the constitutional standards of human rights and fundamental freedoms? And what are you doing as a means of policy to guide and help the police service to comply with Article 244 C and D? And a few years ago, there was a police reform program which was being managed by Laikipia University and maybe other universities. Is that program still on? Because I sense the police officers may not be understanding what to do with suspects when they arrest them. Are you going to revise your management strategy on how you reform the handling of suspects from the time of detection of crime, arrest, placement into custody, bail and board process, and how do you show accountability to Kenyans? What are you going to do following these very distressing incidents of Albert Kajwang losing his life in a police suspect? Until when that suspect is produced in court, how are Kenyans going to check? What documents are they going to be checking? The next time somebody is arrested in a police station, are they going to sign something that they are not beaten? By the time they exit that police station within the 24 hours, what document is that suspect going to be given to show to Kenyans a form of accountability that all has been well when they are arrested? That's one question. And then I come to the specific questions that beg answers and which Kenyans want to hear. Who deleted Albert's X account? And when was it deleted? And what was the reason for that X account being deleted? IPOA, you are the agency investigating these specific aspects. Initially, the account was being investigated for posting something against the DIG. But when investigations commenced and Albert eventually lost his life, who deleted Albert's X account? IPOA has given us a narration of evidence here that the CCTV at Central Police Station was interfered with. My colleagues have asked who interfered with the CCTV. I ask the next question. Was there a backup of what was in the CCTV? There must have been a backup somewhere. Can that backup be recovered so that the incidents of what happened in that cell can be made known to Kenyans? And finally, how long will these investigations take? I know IPOA was given 7 days by DPP through a public announcement. Within the 7 days, I believe this is the second day. How long will it take for justice to be granted to the family of Albert? And I want to say finally, CS, I hope you together with the team that you are with here, you will have the boldness, because you've done a good thing to offer condolences to the family. And we deeply feel with the family. And this is Senate's way of saying we are deeply sorry for what has happened to this family. I hope with your team, the same level of hierarchy, you will sit down with Albert's family, and not too long from now, to say how deeply sorry you are for the loss of this young man, and that after sitting with this family, the National Police Service will take full responsibility for this loss, and you'll be able to indemnify this family. Not that it will bring Albert back to life, but it's a way of showing your remorse. And for the police officers in all the stations, this is a different nation. When a suspect walks into your station, you must safeguard the dignity of the life of every Kenyan. Sometimes people are suspected, yet the court acquits them because they did not commit any crime. So when you're in your stations, you are accountable for the lives of the people who are placed under you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Dula.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the whole country is watching today this proceeding. I know this is a matter that is very serious. Personally, I should have had a function in my county, Mr. Speaker. Through your instruction, I had to cancel my function today in Isiolo County to be here to listen to this proceeding and also contribute to it. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask IG and the team. We have been told that DIG wrote to DCI to carry out investigation. Can we be provided with all documentary evidence from the letter written by DIG, the result of CA, the result of autopsy, all the findings, all those documents must be submitted to this house for thorough interrogation. That is number one. Number two, Mr. Speaker, there is tendency of actually, in the case of cybercrime, where individuals commit crime, they are transported all the way from where the crime is committed to Nairobi, where taxpayers' money is spent, police officers are sent, vehicles are fueled. I have a case in my county, Mr. Speaker, a young girl by the name of Samira. She actually was arrested in Mombasa, brought to Nairobi to write a statement. From Nairobi, she was taken to Isiolo to write a statement. She has a young baby. Mr. Speaker, her telephones were taken 3 months ago. Up to now, they were not returned to her. Is there a law that says when somebody is arrested, for example, in Mombasa, she should not be tried there? She should be brought to Nairobi, or taken wherever police want to take them. That is number one. Mr. Speaker, I am not happy with the position given by IPOA. Of course, they have had their findings. What action or instructions have they given out as far as their preliminary investigation is concerned? Mr. Speaker, I think this is a very serious matter as far as cybercrime is concerned, where individuals actually politically also fix each other. And this is a matter I would ask CS Murkomen, even if it means actually amending the law that governs cybercrime, something has to be done so that we correct that situation where our kids, where politicians also fix each other, that the law must govern that particular act properly. I thank you.
Senator Abbas.
Thank you so much, Speaker. Honourable Speaker, mine I think is very short. I want to ask one question to the DIG, the IG, and I think that has been asked many times. One DIG or IG, there is a police station in every part of this country. What has necessitated people to be driven for 370 kilometers? You don't trust your officers in the other places? Two, did the DIG who complained about Albert write a statement? And if yes, where is the statement? Can it be submitted to this council? Four, the IG, Kenyans seek protection from police when they have a problem. They run to police stations. The same police stations is where people die now. Can you advise Kenyans where we can run to for security? I want you to tell these Kenyans that now that the police stations are not safe, then where do you go next? Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Haji.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to start by sending my condolences to the family and friends of the late Albert Kajwang. What happened to him is indeed a sad incident, and it should not happen to any Kenyan. Any life, one life, is a life too many when we lose. And Mr. Speaker, sir, today is a special day. It is quite unprecedented that we are having this special sitting to discuss the death of a Kenyan. And I hope that this is a precedent that we're going to set as this Senate and as a country in the whole. Because, Mr. Speaker, sir, where I come from, and I have to relate the matters happening to this country to where I come from and to the people that I represent. Mr. Speaker, sir, as we discuss the death of Albert Kajwang and the circumstances that led to his death, and I would like the Senator for Homa Bay, Senator Kajwang, and Senator Beatrice Ogola to try and understand where I'm coming from. In no way am I trying to disrespect this very sitting today here. But I would like to see some level of fairness in this country. I would like to see that the life of any Kenyan, anywhere, is important to all of us. Mr. Speaker, sir, last week, the Senator of Turkana stood on the floor of this House with a statement inquiring about the death of 40 fishermen who were killed and left in the lake, and 4 other individuals who were detained and then killed thereafter. And not a single senator requested for a special sitting for those 44 individuals. Not a single senator. Not this country begged for questions about the death of those individuals. Not the main media, not even on the social media. So it begs the question,
Are there some Kenyans who are more equal than others? Are we to believe that we are brothers and sisters or cousins in that matter? Or maybe there are cousins who are more equal than others? Or is a death of a young man such as Albert Ojwang an opportunity for political expediency? Whether on the main media or the social media? And you know, Mr. Speaker, people will label me whatever they want to label me. They would say I am part of the system, that I am a brother to so and so. But Mr. Speaker, I was a patriot of this country before I came to the Senate. I was a patriot before any of my relatives living is serving in any of this part of this government. I was a patriot, and I have personally fought for this country. I have personally put my life on the line for this country. So whether I'm related to anybody, it is not the issue here. The issue is, as a country, can we be so sincere to each other and agree that we are brothers and sisters, or tell us of certain regions that there are people who are more brothers than we are. And Mr. Speaker, when I sit here and I listen to senior citizens, senior senators speak on the floor of the House, and then remind this country of the Arab Spring, I have tremendous respect for Senator Dr. Boni Kalwale. I have tremendous respect for him. He's a leader in this House. I have tremendous respect for Senator Wambua. But they both mentioned the Arab Spring. Senator Wambua yesterday, today Senator Boni Kalwale, reminding us as a country of the Arab Spring, reminding the youth of this country about the Arab Spring. What happened subsequently after the Arab Spring? Any of those countries, mention them. Have they benefited in any way? Constantly reminding the youth of this country that you have an option, and that option is the Arab Spring. Look at the Arab Spring. Take an example from them and superimpose it on this country. Mr. Speaker, sir, that is very unfortunate. We shouldn't be going that way. Mr. Speaker, sir, we must remember that any seeds that we sow today, we will reap the results not far too long. If we want to sow the seeds of disconnect, of inequality, of some regions being better than others, it will be very unfortunate, and we will continue in that path. I would want to beg this House. I have a case of 6 youths in Garissa, 6 youths between the age of 18 to 21, who were brutally murdered on the road in Garissa. Brutally murdered, execution style, told to bend down, kneel down, and shot in the head, in the back of the head. Until today, it's been 2 years. Until today, we don't know if it's whether it is a security apparatus who killed them, or it was a criminal organization that killed them. We don't know. We don't know. But we've not had, not the human rights organization, not the civil society, not the media houses, have ever decided to pursue justice for those 6 people. If this continues, some of us, or some senators here, will feel disconnected from the rest of the country. And we will not feel for the pain of some people, which will turn us to less of a human. We all believe that a life, any life, is important. And I want to beg this House, if this is the precedence we're setting, let us keep it to this. Let's not use this as a political opportunity to get mileage for whatever matter. The next death of any Kenyan, let's have a special sitting and discuss the circumstances to the death of that Kenyan. Mr. Speaker, sir, going to my question, I would like to ask the member of IPOA, representing IPOA today here. She had mentioned the issue of CCTV, and I know many senators have asked a question about the CCTV. And I was a bit curious to know how many of our police stations have CCTV, and how many of those cameras are placed within the cells of those police stations. And if in that particular case, in the case of Albert Ojwang, were those CCTVs working even before IPOA decided that they were interfered with? And my next question is to the IG. IG had stated here that when they moved the deceased Albert Ojwang from the cell to Magathi police station, he was declared dead upon arrival. Was he alive at the time he was moved from the station? That is something we missed in his submission. My final question to the IG, I'm just wondering out loud, why do the police arrest people in certain areas and transport them to Nairobi for investigation? Does it mean that with the devolved system that we have now, the DCI or the police cannot conduct investigations at where the person has been arrested? Could you elaborate on this issue as well? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Newt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be very fast in my questions. Mr. Speaker, I would like to first remind both the CS and the IG that the reason why the Kenya Police Service is Kenya Police Service today and not Kenya Police Force, why that transformation happened, Mr. Speaker, was because there was need to establish a friendliness between members of the police service and the members of the public. And what we are seeing here, Mr. Speaker, is that members of the public now increasingly will find the police very hostile, and they may not even be able to collect information from members of the public. Why I say this, Mr. Speaker, is because the speed at which this particular complaint against Albert Ojwang was executed, the investigation, a mere 3 days and every investigation had been done and arrests made. Mr. Speaker, this then shows that the police and those serving in this service have become very special people. And Mr. Speaker, when we are talking of, somebody Ojwang, whose only crime was making allegations on social media, that is X, and investigations were carried out in that type of speed, while we have Ojwang who is now lying dead, and the police have actually no substantive result of this investigation. They have not been able to indicate who committed this particular crime. Mr. Speaker, we must ask ourselves very many questions. Now, Mr. Speaker, the IG should tell us why Ojwang was held in a cell alone. Because the problem that we have here of identifying who committed this crime, we have it because there is no particular eyewitness to what was happening what happened in that particular cell if this murder happened in the cells. And so, Mr. Speaker, the IG must tell us why Ojwang was held all alone in a cell, because had he been held with other cellmates, then of course we would be able to get information from the other cellmates that they would have been with. My question to the CS is, Honorable Murkomen, does DIG Lagat have to be in office? Would the whole police service crumble just because DIG Lagat steps aside? We have seen even more senior people stepping aside to allow for investigations. And the CS Murkomen should tell us why DIG Lagat has to be in office, unless DIG Lagat is so important that everything else would come to a standstill if he steps aside. DIG Lagat must step aside so that Kenyans can have faith in the investigations that will be done by IPOA and any other body, Mr. Speaker. Now, the IG has said a very interesting thing, Mr. Speaker. You know, we have also been guests of the state. I have never ever seen any examination carried out on somebody arrested to establish their physical or mental wellness, unless, so the IG kindly tell us, since when did the police start assessing the mental well-being and physical well-being of people before admitting them to the cells? Because this has never ever happened. And so the IG is economical with the truth. Let him tell this house when this started happening. Mr. Speaker, the crime being perpetrated, we have crime being perpetrated right in a police station, and that is interference with CCTV cameras. So if the police are the people that are supposed to investigate crime and even arrest criminals, and there are criminals within, then IG must tell us where our safety then lies. CS Murkomen. You know, Senator Wambua said you can and you should do better. And I agree totally with him that you say you have no eyes, CS, while we have seen you recently having very sharp eyes on political comments made by people, and you have been actually calling for the arrest of people making political statements that are not suitable to you. How can you have no eyes when a young man has lost his life in the hands of the police? So I think we need to see a more serious CS, Mr. Speaker. The IG must tell DIG Lagat, if you do not have a skin thick enough to be able to tolerate public criticism, then you have no business being in public service. Because we cannot believe that we are here now debating about the death of a young man just because he made comments on social media. And in any case, because CS Murkomen is a lawyer, he should be able to tell us, because some of us believe that this was a civil matter and not a criminal matter. Why was Ojwang arrested and transferred again all the way to Nairobi? And the DCI should tell us whether there is a DCI office in Homa Bay, because that is where all these investigations should have happened. If he doesn't tell us, then we can conclude that DIG Lagat had then instructed, but that he wanted to see Ojwang before anything else. Otherwise, this crime should have been investigated in Homa Bay. There is a DCI office in Homa Bay.
There is an intervention from the majority leader. You will still proceed.
Speaker,
take a seat.
Mr. Speaker, it is now 12:57, and I'm worried because we are running out of time before we can hear any single response from the parties that are before us. Will it be in order?
Senator Fernandi, this is not a point of order. It is a point of intervention. I was very clear. Proceed. Just proceed.
Mr. Speaker, whatever I will say will benefit many people, including Senator Cherargei. So I don't know why, Mr. Speaker,
Because I want to request, Mr. Speaker, that because there are many of our colleagues that have not had an opportunity to speak on such an important matter, that we transact this business in the afternoon as well, with your permission. I know there is a technicality, Mr. Speaker. I know that there is a technicality because the motion lapsed at some point. But if you so permit, Mr. Speaker, we could still come back with a motion in the afternoon at 2:30 so that we revert back and we listen to the statement. That's my humble pleading to you, Mr. Speaker, because you are out of time.
Now, honorable senators, it is now 1 minute to 1 p.m., which is the time for the House to adjourn. Looking at the business that still lies ahead of us, we certainly cannot conclude in less than a minute. I will therefore be amenable to allow this debate to proceed at 2:30. And therefore, at this juncture, honorable senators, we shall resume normal sitting of the Senate. We proceed to adjourn and then come back at 2:30. Now, honorable senators, we are now back to the normal session with all the standing orders in full force. Honorable senators, it is now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday the 11th of June 2025 at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.